Comic book crossovers give fans a chance to see their favorite characters smushed together in sometimes ridiculous storylines. Things get really interesting when completely different franchises are mixed together. I'm Tony G with GameSpot Universe. Let us know what comic book deep dives you guys want to see in our next video in the comments below. Now, without further crossover, here's a look at 7 crazy crossovers. Justice League and the Power Rangers. When Alpha 5 disappears and is replaced with a bomb by Lord Zed, Zordon's defenses are breached. Even though the teleporters are damaged, Zack attempts to transport the villain away. Ending up in the DC universe, he immediately runs into Batman. Zack assumes the Dark Knight is one of Zed's monsters, and they fight. One Power Ranger's no problem for Batman, but when the other Rangers come to Zack's aid, the Justice League will need to be called in. Star Trek and the X-Men. The X-Men were pursuing a foe through space, and they end up going through a spatial rift. They enter the Star Trek universe and have to teleport onto the Enterprise when their ship is damaged. Bones doesn't mind helping stowaways when Gambit is injured. Maybe it's because he and Beast are both known as Dr. McCoy. Spock isn't so trusting and uses the Vulcan death grip on Wolverine. Thankfully, he has super healing, otherwise he'd be dead. The X-Men and the Enterprise crew sort things out and team up against the bad guys. Then they pat each other on the back before it's time to go their separate ways. Punisher and Eminem. After an Eminem concert, Punisher shows up and bullets start flying. The rapper runs into an old acquaintance, Barracuda, who happens to be a killer for hire. The two head into an abandoned house where Mathers acts like a hostage and pistol whips a Punisher as he enters. It turns out Barracuda was actually hired to kill some punk-ass rapper. This leads to Eminem and the Punisher being on the same side against Barracuda. Superman versus Muhammad Ali. An alien race has noticed Earth's potential for destruction. In order to assure themselves Earthlings won't someday be a threat, they issue a challenge of their champion fighting against Earth's greatest. Since they brought an entire armada with them, there is no choice but to agree to this crazy deal. The aliens decide either Superman or boxing legend Muhammad Ali will be the suitable choice. They fight in an alien ship close to a red sun. That means Superman won't have his superpowers. The Man of Steel gets whooped. Ali then has to fight the aliens champion. And he kind of wins because he is the greatest. Big Trouble in Little China and Escape from New York. In the 80s, Kurt Russell played 2 iconic characters with amazing mullets. Jack Burton in Big Trouble in Little China and Snake Plissken in Escape from New York. Burton's semi drives through a mysterious portal and he ends up in Plissken's world. When Snake hears someone is trying to steal his identity, he immediately tracks down Burton. Don't worry, they end up teaming up in order to fix a magical spell that went wrong. Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Batman discovers ninjas are stealing equipment from Wayne Enterprises. Shredder and the Foot Clan are stuck in a DC universe and are plotting to get back to their dimension. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are also trapped and they're on Shredder's trail. This leads to a clash between Batman and the Turtles, since anyone would think giant walking turtles are weird. As Shredder begins to team up with some of Batman's foes like the Penguin, the Dark Knight and the Ninja Turtles also form an alliance. You can expect lots of ninja fighting and pizza in this one. Archie versus Predator. This was a crossover we never expected to see. When Archie and the gang spend spring break at an island resort, they're not the only ones visiting the tropical paradise. A spaceship also arrives, and you can bet whoever's on board isn't there to party. After Betty and Veronica get into a fight, Betty ventures off on her own. She accidentally grabs a cursed knife, which attracts the attention of an alien predator. He follows them to Riverdale, and it becomes an utterly bloody mess. Archie's friends get impaled and have their spines ripped out. You start to wonder if anyone will be able to survive by the time the story ends. That doesn't even scratch the surface of all the other weird comic matchups out there. Let us know what your favorite crossover is. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss our next video on comic book weirdness. For more comic book TV and movie news, be sure to keep it tuned to GameSpot Universe.